Greetings, Ani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tansi, Scano. Howdy, it's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, up to our hee-haws in snow and cold and yucky weather. Anyway, welcome. If you're new to this channel, we are Indigenous providers of information on spirituality, art, and education in general, and go out into the schools and teach. And I'm a licensed wedding officiant, and we've been doing this since Adam and Eve left the garden, or at least it feels like that. Anyway, love my work. Welcome. We do a weekly cartomancy event, and it's heavily in our cultural paradigm and includes a lot to do with moon phases and planetary events. Not astrological so much as guidance of grandmother moon, grandfather sun. Okay, so this week I'm doing something totally unique. Of all the decks, over 1,900 decks now that I have and have been collecting since 1972, I've been pushed by Spirit for months now to get back into my Thoth decks. Thoth is a system separate from Rider-Waite, separate from Marseille and the ancient Tarocchi of Italy that preceded all of them. I do collect the occultists, so the Golden Dawn tarots, the Rosicrucian tarots, culturally specific tarots. I'm not a Rider-Waite fan. I learned very early that there was a lack of consistency between certain, the sword suit and other suits, and the numerology went off the rails right away. And I had to do some really deep learning, some history, particularly within the occultists. So anybody after Atea or Aliette, like Israeli Regardi, people like that, and understand why in the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries that happened. So Thoth became my personal deck of choice. It's very scholarly, and that didn't stop me from starting with it. I was a teenager when I got my first Thoth deck, and I'm actually using it today. It's my big old greenie, and I love it, and I have every book that Aleister Crowley ever wrote on tarot, and I have within my collection about 165, something like that, textbooks, some of them very old, so that I could really get to the meat and the gristle of tarot and understand why the divergent trees and why they all have truth. Anyway, I have never brought Thoth decks out into these weekly readings. I have only ever, in all my years of practice, pulled out Thoth decks for private clients, and I do private readings. If a client has asked for Thoth because that's what they understand, then I pull out some of these decks. This week's reading is all Thoth. There are no oracles, absolutely none. So that's a first for this channel. The Thoth is a first for, like all Thoth decks. Now, they're from varying authors and varying styles, some of which I really love and some of which I don't. But if I want to be open about it and unbiased, I bring in all kinds of Thoth, as long as they are strictly Thoth and not a melange of like Thoth and Marseille pip decks, that sort of thing. So I have, for our collective reading this week, as I say, I'm using my greenie, which I've never used publicly other than for myself or a one-on-one client. So that's our main deck this week. The art of Frida Harris, Lady Frida Harris. And then for the rest of the Thoth decks, I have all kinds of modern ones and historic reproductions and numbered decks that are very special. I'm not going to take the time to go through what those decks are, but I always post a picture of the decks used with a description of who wrote them and who illustrated them, their names, all of that. So those pictures are posted separately, along with a picture of the actual card reading layout. So unless you're going to take a screenshot, the other way to do it is wherever I post on the socials, so Facebook, Threads, and Instagram, and we have two separate pages, a Moonstarlodge business page as well as my own personal page on Facebook, and Brian will repost them on his page on Facebook. So they're out there, and I'm happy to send, if we're friends on one of these social sites and you want information, I can send that to you through Messenger. Anyway, all that being said, it's the week of February 2nd through 8th that we're talking about. February 2nd is the second day of Imbolc and the second day of the full moon of Wisdom Keeper. So this is a Lollapalooza. I have other videos up on Imbolc and on this grandmother. So Wisdom Keeper's videos are already up. Imbolc I'm doing, putting out just a couple days before Imbolc. But this reading is, so they're out now, but they're separate 3-minute readings. Anyway, so this particular lineup is my greenies, as I mentioned, for the main decks, and all the other decks provide the cards, so there are no oracles. Anyway, with that being said, and I repeated myself there, let's go to the cards, Brian. So here we go. We've got lots of interesting cards here, and being as we are in this full moon energy, it's not surprising that the first card, the significator, is the 5 of discs, which is inverted, and it's a pentagram inverted. And in the original Christian tradition, a pentagram was a positive thing. It's been perverted in the last few centuries. But when it's inverted like this, it's meant to drive away witches and people from the church. Anyway, worry. Worry comes when moon energy, like full moon energy, sends us down the wrong tunnel in the rabbit hole. The moon, as we know, can be very conducive to connecting with our intuitive self and getting channeled information, whether you see yourself as a channeler or not. We all do it, and we all have intuition. But when it goes off the rail there, sorry, I just banged into the fireplace with my wheelchair to adjust my position. Wheelchairs are not comfortable. Anyway, this card says we're starting this week with worry. And it isn't about the full moon, it's just worry. But we're not meant to worry, and you'll see by the end of the week how this evolves. It's clarified here by the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is being forced to stop moving, to be suspended, can't do anything else, can't run away from the situation, is forced to look at situations from a new perspective. So this is a card of logic, not squirrel brain. So we're asked to step back from whatever situation is causing us to worry with this full moon energy. And, you know, with Neptune has moved into Aries for the next 14 years. So this is about our soul and consciousness and higher self wanting to move into action. And the worry may well be, what action is it we're supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And we're freaking out about it. It may be that we're freaking out about everything. We're thinking about everything all at once. Whatever it is, because we're all individuals with individual issues, we're being forcibly told, this is my ancestor position in this spread, to stop, reverse, look at the position from a different angle, and just don't act. Don't act. Just observe and think it through. Somebody said, that sounds like meditation. Yeah, this could be. I think if I was hanging upside down, I'd be forced to meditate too, because I would rather do than sit and think. What's interesting here is in the main row of tarot, the second card is also the Hanged Man. So we're really being told emphatically by our own higher selves and our ancestors, because this is from our higher self, our soul, our monadic group, the collective of our soul extensions, to stop and be present and observe and look at our position differently. The card that clarifies the Hanged Man in the tarot line is the Nine of Wands. So this is fortitude. This is having strength and pushing through despite adversity. We're almost done. We're almost there. It's calling us to go take the higher road, really, and persevere. Persevere to the end of whatever this spiritual journey is that may feel like it's caused us burdens. Card 3, the Lovers. Well, here we go. So things are starting to improve. We find balance. Balance is within the self, the male and the female, the yin and yang, the whole concept of life from a place of equal input. It can be, because this is also a major arcana card, as is this card. It can be a lover, it can be a partner, it can be a person we care about, it can be a dearest friend to us. And so it's somebody who completes us and brings us balance. Somebody who shares the load. And it's clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. And we all know the Queen of Pentacles is water of earth, and so she is the emotional balance that's required here, the emotional maturity, and she is the one who has the means to dispense. We always dispense whatever materials of this earthly realm that we have to ourselves and our immediate family first, but also to the rest of the world as it's needed. That's really the knight. The knight is the same person as the king in a Thoth deck. So that's a big difference. So the queen is the water to the king's fire of earth. Anyway, the Lovers and the Queen say, we have everything we need. There is no need to worry about material things, that's for sure. We only need to look at with grace and with joy that we have others around us to support us. We are not alone here in any of this. So we come to the fourth card, the Knight of Cups. So the Knight, as I say, Knights are the same as Kings in a Thoth deck. So he's the fire of water. So there we go. We've got the balanced pair. So another equalizing. Everything in balance. And it's clarified by the Ten of Cups, which is satiation. So we have everything we need. Our family is doing well. We've got the opportunity here for not worrying at all about our material or emotional life, our relationships. So nothing that's here has any validity anymore. We're being told we have everything we need. We've got a good balance here of earth, air, fire, and water, as I see it. We go to the Prince of Wands, and the Prince is the heir of fire. He's in a chariot, and he is moving forward. He's looking with inspiration for the opportunities to expand spiritually, artistically, energetically in the world. There's a higher calling here, and the Prince has no qualms. He's decked out here much like the Chariot card. No qualms, just going for it, not thinking about it, just giving her. And that's really quite fascinating to me. The Seven of Wands is clarifying. So it's saying that no matter what comes up, you're in the dominant position. No matter how many people push back, you've got the high ground. You've got the place where this is going to work. And it's a statement. It's not anything to mull over. It's not anything to try and push the puzzle piece into its found spot. It is what it is. You've got the high road here, and you've got the spiritual impetus. The next card is the Magus, the Magician. So another trump card, or major arcana, same as trumps. So here we go. We've got everything we need, earth, air, fire, water, spirit, to manufacture in a good way, because historically the magician was known more as the ne'er-do-well that goes the circus route and shafts people out of money, and kind of a magician rather than the magus, sleight of hand and duplicity. This, however, says no. We're able to produce in ways that aren't necessarily known, because we have spirit behind us, everything that we need to make all of this aspect happen. And there is a nice blend of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit in this reading. So when we need it, when the knight here arrives at what they're going to build, all the materials are there, because the magician is in the knight's court. The chariot, here we go. We've got the chariot here, clarifying the magus. So there we go, we've got our chariot. So we just go and we don't worry about it, and we don't stall, and we don't say the horses need a drink, or in this case the lion needs some food, because that's an excuse to stop moving because we're really worried. No, 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 no. No, just go for it. And the final card of the week here is the Eight of Cups. Now, in a Thoth deck, this is indolence. This is letting things go, not doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is an element of laziness, not getting it done. The flowers in these cups, well, these ones are empty. These ones are wilting, and yeah, there's a lack of emotional movement here. Indolence is more about, in this instance here, movement. So I think this is a warning card. We've come so far. You know, we've got sevens here, and we've got this 8. We're nearing the end of an emotional journey. So stopping and taking a breather is okay, but not to the point that what we're creating dies. Sometimes we need a spiritual reboot. This can be kind of a depression aspect of it. We just don't have the energy because we're not in a good place. However, it's clarified. This is the movement that comes from this Princess of Wands. She is basically Earth of Fire. She's a table dancer. She's taking all the energy that she's accumulated, and she's even getting into mischief as she needs to. She's full of life, full of piss and vinegar, and she's learning about what it is. But you can't know how something is going to turn out till you'll actually do it. So this is where her clarifying indolence is important. We have to go back to a youthful way of saying, well, I don't know what's coming of this. I'm just going to go ahead and do it and have a good time. Hopefully have a good time. Because when we're kids, when we're young, we think that way. We think something isn't going to happen necessarily. So we need the fire of the innocence and lack of experience and all that energy. Would that I had the energy of myself as a 15-year-old today in my 60s. But anyway, yeah, it's about not losing the dream. The dream comes after we've sat with it and we get the energy to make movement. It's natural to lose energy or stamina, but know that it's there for us. So you can flip the camera. So there we have it. February is a better month for me. I always find that the energy starts to increase. I can feel the earth energy that I spoke about a couple of readings ago. The earth energy that's underneath the 3 or 4 feet of frozen ground. At least it's about 3 feet where I live. It's starting to thaw, and the groundwater is moving up and releasing energy into the roots of the plants. And by the end of February, we're actually seeing shifting happening. And quite often where we are, the robins are coming back within a very short time to nest. So it's a month of greater change than January. And it's important to recognize that the stillness can still feel very heavy at the beginning of the month in the week that we're in. But this full moon is a full moon of grace, and it's It's asking us to go into our wisdom place with Wisdom Keeper and remember where we came from and where it is we need to go towards. Anyway, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this Thoth-based reading, and I'm going to go ahead and do another one for next week. That will be the 9th to the 15th, and we have changes coming already by that point. So thank you or miigwech, as we say, miigwech, for staying with us till the end, and thank you for your support through the Ko-fi platform. That's Ko-fi. Thank you for sending me that coffee. Thank you for comments. We need comments to help the algorithm grow and so that other people can see the reading. We thank you for your kind words and in all the ways that you help us out. We hope that this week finds you well and at peace. So from Brian and I, blessings. Aho. Peace.